Hey, it's Lynne Brown. I'm a speaker, trainer, and coach with the John Maxwell team and a teaching partner with Empowered Living. The first half of my life, I spent people pleasing. In my spare time, I was literally trapped by the opinions of other people. And then to top it all off, I had a broken mindset. Now, I was totally unaware of all those things. The only thing I knew was that I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And it was a day, I remember exactly where I was. I remember where I was standing the day that I drew the line in the sand. And I was like, no more. I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I don't know if you've ever experienced that in your life, or if you know some people, maybe some friends that you've heard say that before. But I just decided at that point that I knew there was more, and I had to find out what it was and where it was and how I was going to get there. So I took one step in the direction of my dreams. Now, if you think I had it all figured out and I knew exactly, I had this perfect blueprint for success, no, that would be no. But I took the one step in the direction of my dreams. And I will tell you that things began to change. It wasn't until, probably a year after that initial step that I saw a quote from Wayne Dyer that said, when you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at change. And I was like, that is my life. And now I'm just partnering with people that want to do the same. The people that want to do, be, and have more. So I'm becoming the best version of myself. So anybody that wants to join the Gritty Women Global Movement, hey, we are accepting applications, and everybody's included. So today I'm super excited to have on our show an amazing world changer. Nicole Weaver is here with us, and she is going to just share her heart and her passion. Nicole, thanks so much for giving us your time today on the Gritty Women Mindset podcast. And what are you most excited about? Talk to us.
Well, right now I'm excited about being on the Gritty Women podcast. I love your energy and I love the podcast. And
hey, we're happy to have you. We are super happy to have you.
But what I am most passionate about in just like everyday living is mental health advocacy. I have bipolar disorder, among other disorders. And in 2014, I saw a new psychiatrist who took me off my antidepressant. I forget which one it was because I've taken so many over the years.
Wow.
But yeah. But my new psychiatrist took me off it because she said with the latest research, antidepressants don't help people with bipolar disorder. But I felt like it helped me, but I complied. And then all of a sudden I had a severe depression. It wasn't even gradual. I didn't want to live anymore. And I couldn't conceive of getting that out of my head. So I went to a psychiatric inpatient facility, and I tried. I went to group therapy. I did everything in the hospital I was supposed to do. But once I got out, I just kept relapsing, and I was in and out of the hospital 6 times in 6 months for a total of about 6 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, it was devastating to my loved ones, especially my wife. It was hard for her to cope, and now that I think about it, and I'm really sorry I put my family through such hardship. But
well, I mean, let me just stop right here, just because I want to say this, but I totally understand, what you just said, but just for you and for all of our listeners, isn't that interesting how we can feel that sorrow, feel that sympathy. But at the same time, we were doing the best we could do at the time. We were doing all we were aware of at that time. And so be gentle on yourself. Just be gentle on yourself. Okay, keep going.
Okay. And I eventually slowly got better after those 6 months at the hospital. I was put on another antidepressant by another more established psychiatrist, and things just slowly started getting better. I was on disability for a while.
Wow.
And I just kept working at my mindset and just being in intensive therapy, just doing everything I knew how to do. And then eventually I went on job interviews. My mindset wasn't the best back then, but I went on so many interviews because I was so nervous, and it just consumed me. But in 2017, I had a breakthrough. I went on an interview. I talked about my experience, my job experience, and to be honest, my self-esteem wasn't the best, so I thought I bombed it. But the next day, the hiring manager called me and offered me the position, and I flourished in it. In 10 months, I got promoted to an outside agency because I worked for the state of California. And in 13 months after that, I got promoted again. And that, a combination of that and working on my mindset and doing thought work really helped me out, because now I think I'm an amazing individual.
Yes, you are an amazing individual. Let me agree with you right there. Okay. Wow. Look what you overcame, though, just in that short period. Like you said, you were struggling with self-esteem. You were struggling with just your mindset, and you had to do multiple interviews before you had that breakthrough. So there was something in you. Your purpose was bigger than your fear, because you kept pushing to make it through, to get to the other side.
Yes, it was very uncomfortable, but that's what you need to do to grow, because literally when you have a physical growth spurt, it hurts. So an emotional growth spurt is definitely going to hurt a little bit, but in the end, you come out taller and stronger.
That's so true. Was there one specific thing that you could share with the viewers that you did to begin to really be the assassin on those self-limiting beliefs?
The first step to changing your limiting beliefs is noticing the limiting beliefs. And the next step is stopping them. So when I think you will never be successful, I say, stop, that's not true. And then I replace it with the thought, my massive success is inevitable.
I love that. I love that. Let's everybody, I mean, I'm writing that down right now. My massive success
is inevitable.
Is inevitable. I love that. And I hope everybody catches this, because it's a huge nugget. When those thoughts were creeping in, which honestly, I mean, I've been in this growth environment that I'm in for 7 years, and I'm still learning, but I know that sometimes those things, the voices, it will come back, kind of creep in. But you said you spoke to it, and there's so much power in that. I'm a person of faith, and so I love that one of my favorite verses is speak to the mountains, and to me, that's what you were doing. You were speaking, saying, no, you will no longer steal my joy, and you will no longer, rob me of my peace. That is amazing right there. Wow.
Yes, and those thoughts will creep back up, but you can't stuff them down. You have to acknowledge them. Even when you're thinking your highest thoughts about yourself, those negative thoughts will still creep in once in a while. It's just a fact of life, because I lived with those negative thoughts for so long and practiced them for so long that they just stick around, and it just takes a long time to develop that mental strength.
So true. It's such a habit, isn't it? And habits, I mean, let's be honest, I'm not going to gloss it over and blow sunshine and rainbows. Habits, the great news is they can be broken, because I know it in my life. So if somebody's out there going, well, there's just no way I can break this habit, I just have to tell you, yes, you can. And Nicole would tell you, yes, you can, because both of us, even when we were visiting before we started our podcast, both of us have broken through these negative habits that we had created. And so we can learn things. We have to unlearn some things, but we can learn new things, and we can be the assassin for those, as Dr. Amen, he does a lot of great study on the brain and brain health. And he says, automatic negative thoughts, which are ants. And I love that analogy, because you can easily remember it. So we gotta kill our own ants. I mean, nobody's coming for us. Did anybody ever come do this for you, Nicole? Did anybody just drive up one day and say, you know what, I'm going to just take this whole load off your shoulders, and I'm going to transform your mind and heart? Did anybody come help you do that? I mean, there were people in your life, but you know what I'm saying. You had to do the work, didn't you?
I did. And despite my wife's best efforts to be that person for me, I had to do it myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody's coming. And I think there's such a, there's a group of people that blame the world and blame their circumstances and blame everybody, somebody's the matter with me today. And then there are these other people that think, well, it's going to work itself out. Well, I call BS, bogus story, bogus story. It's a family show, whatever. But, that's not happening. The truth is, we have to fight our way through, and what we fight for, we get. You're a perfect example of it. Wow. It's amazing. So what are you most excited about today, Nicole?
Oh, what really lights me up is starting my business. It's in the blog stage right now, but it's going to very quickly accelerate. And you have helped me just jumpstart my business. And I'm going to achieve mass success sooner than I previously thought. So my blog is called The Bipolar Kitty. It's at thebipolarkitty.com. And it's a blog on how to basically achieve mass success. It's despite living with bipolar disorder. And I eventually want to help women with bipolar disorder increase their self-esteem and live the lives that they deserve, and become advocates for themselves and become change makers, just like me.
That is so awesome. Wow. Thank you for sharing, how to connect. Yes, the bipolarkitty.com, just bipolarkitty.com. And when we launch the podcast for Nicole, we will include all of her bio and all of her, her blog, and ways that you can connect with her on social. And just, we'll be sending that out, before too long. And I cannot thank you enough for just giving us your time today. I mean, you sacrificed your time and to be on our podcast. And I know that it's been a great encouragement to all the gritty women out there. And I cannot thank you enough. And I always like to find out this too. As far as gritty goes, G is for gratitude, R is resilience, I is for inspiration. The 2 T's in gritty are for think tough, and Y is you do you. Which part of gritty resonates with you, Nicole?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that this was not a sacrifice for me. In fact, this is a huge blessing.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. You have given me like 3 so amazing, just affirmations today. And I just want to thank you for that. I really do. It means so much to me. And I'm so grateful. I'll have to write you in my gratitude journal. I'm so grateful, for you for saying that to me. So thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad I could do that for you.
Oh, wow. Well, that's great. I look forward to, us just staying connected and as you build your business and step into who you were created to be, I'm right there with you doing the same thing. And so are all of our listeners and, all across the world. It's just so amazing that we can, unite and become the best versions of ourselves. So thank you so much again, Nicole, for joining us today. And we look forward to hearing from you in the future. And remember, gritty is the new strong. So get gritty.
I am gritty, and the part of gritty that resonates most with me is resilience. I believe that the story I told is a story of resilience, and I feel like I'm like silly putty. Like I stretch out and then I stretch back.
Wow, that's awesome. Hey, if you stay flexible and adaptable, the sky's the limit. There are no limits.
Definitely. There are no limits.
There are no limits. So I know that today, Nicole, has been a super blessing to all of you out there across the world. We thank you for tuning into the Gritty Women Global Podcast. Please share this with your friends and as an encouragement, and let's continue to grow this global movement. Until next time, go and have a gritty day. And remember, gritty is the new pretty. Talk to you soon.